2, 3.
Welcome to the Genuinely Funny
Podcast.
Episode Trace. 3.
Trois.
Is that 2?
Are you French? I don't know. You're
I am
French. You are French. You should know, and you took French.
I am French, 100%. Born in America,
Monsieur.
We are in our dining
Panton.
room.
Panton.
Ben Paton. My name,
Mademoiselle, my name is Benjamin Panton.
Benjamin Paton.
In French, do you say your J's like H's, like you do in Spanish?
I took French in high school, and then I took 2 more languages that really messed up all of them for me.
But it's in your blood. You
Funny
should know.
story. In college, I took Spanish, and my first Spanish class was like really easy and manageable, and I did well in it. And then going into Spanish, the second one, the sequel, Judgment Day. It was Judgment Day because my teacher was native speaking Spanish. I think he's from the Dominican Republic, and he spoke more Spanish than English.
Yeah.
And everybody that was in that class with me from the previous class was like, first day, oh no. And then we had
no
to
habla
do.
español, señor.
I took two semesters, maybe more, of French in high school, and then I remember our final exam was an oral exam, and I think I got a D in that class, or at least C was the best option.
So embarrassing for your ancestors.
Not in French. French I did great. Spanish,
okay.
I got a D. I've gotten 2 Ds in my life, and that was one of them. But in the oral exam, I was trying to speak Spanish, and he was like, "Okay, well, that was Spanish and French
And a little German. Didn't you take German?
No, German was after that.
Oh, okay.
And that was an online course. And I'm going to be honest and vulnerable and genuine on this podcast and say that Google Translate. That was an online course over the summer while I was trying to tour in my hardcore band, and Google Translate got me through German 1 and 2. So I know no German.
9.
9 means no. I know that. That's it. I know nothing else.
You know Dankeschön?
I've met him once or twice.
Thank you for seeing me again.
So we're in our dining room. This is where we do homeschooling a lot of
Milsh.
days. You can see all of our homeschool supplies and things. And I'm all real treed up today because I'm about to go do some showings after we finish recording
Heck
this.
yeah.
So that hopefully we can
Make that money, baby.
make some money and help some people achieve their goals. And
so then we can get a Costco order.
oh gosh. So yeah,
Blow it all in Costco and snacks.
we tried to film this yesterday
At the
at my
pool.
parents' pool with our kids swimming
So
in the
this would
background.
be so cute because it's Memorial Day.
Yeah, we're like, scene change. This will be really cool. And it's Memorial Day, and we had some good conversations for about 15 minutes.
Yeah, and then it
Very much
devolved
interrupted
into
by kids running up to the camera and being like, "This is my
splashing.
moment. I'm ready for my close-up,
I'm a
Mr.
star,
DeVille.
baby.
I'm ready to see the stars." So that doesn't make sense. But yeah, so that didn't work. And I was like, I kept going, I just don't think this is working. Ken was like, we'll edit it out.
No.
And then finally I was like, this is not. And she was like, yeah, this isn't it.
I
So-
said you can use it for shorts.
Yeah,
Or
we might do some shorts
Or
and
we
stuff
can
on-
do like a SpongeBob transition of like 3 hours later.
Yes. I'm
And then
going
you just
to
pick it back up somewhere else.
Sorry if this makes noise. I'm going to do this because I keep tapping this plastic Godzilla. Nope.
That
King
is
Kong.
not Godzilla. That is King Kong.
And I feel like it's going to be making a bunch of noise. So let me do this.
Hey, happy painting. Bob Ross.
Bob Ross, please don't tap it. Please don't tap it.
Sword fight.
But yeah, so we'll probably post some of those things. Once again, just thanks for everybody that's watched so far and giving us good feedback. We've
Thank
been
you for loving me.
really enjoying this, and I've found that the actual filming of the podcast is very fun and revealing, and it's just a great connector for us. I don't know if you feel that way, but I feel that way. And then when I edit it back, it's really fun because I'm just like, look how pretty my wife is and how funny and how great your smile is. And it makes me happy to make you smile. Do your double chin.
Do the bus one. Open your door.
Do your double chin smile.
No, it's embarrassing.
Okay, well.
I just did it.
Yeah, that's kind of. You did a 20%. You got to put the chin down.
The chin doesn't want to go down right now.
That's true. Okay. So we've been having a lot of fun with this. Last week was a long episode, so we're going to try and keep things a little shorter, about 30, 40 minutes or so. And sorry. Okay, listen. Moving the mic, it is perfect, but moving the mics will make racket on the recording. So yeah, we don't want no racket. We need to get rid of the racket. We got plenty of racket all day. So anyway, we tried to do this out loud. We tried to do this outdoors at my parents' pool, and that was with kids around. That was a thing, and it's just something about like our kids know when we are trying to be quiet. Every time I need to take a phone call, like we're in the car, it's like, oh, hello. And then they're just like, ah, la, la, la.
So we were coming back. We were at Myrtle Beach this weekend.
Myrtle Beach.
And we drove back Sunday night because we had to get home to our dog because our dog sitter fell through.
Yeah.
But we went through the drive-through, and all the boys were so quiet because they had their...
This is every drive-through. This is not just this drive-through.
This is just like so typical.
It's like they're just chilling.
They had headphones on, watching their tablet.
Yeah, just hanging out.
10 o'clock at night, and Ben's trying to order at Taco Bell.
This is what happened. I'll play it out for you.
Okay.
It's every drive-through. It's not just that one.
But I'm just saying
it's like they can be content. They can be cool, and it's like you drive up to the drive-through, and they're like, "Hey, welcome to Taco Bell. Can I take your order?" And then like I open my mouth to like tell them my order, and then Dylan's just like with his headphones on, so it's worse. I can't remember what he asked, but he's just like, "Dad, I think that this game that I'm playing is really fun," and I'm just like, it's every time.
That one he blew something up in his game. He's like, "Oh yeah, I blew it up." Into the Taco Bell thing.
Yes.
And you're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And they were like, "Be quiet." And I reached back to
They were not like the Taco Bell people didn't yell at our kids.
No, you did. But I was saying like I reached back to like grab his hand and say, "Hey, shh," you know.
Yeah.
And then we do this thing, give me your hand, where y'all see that where you like do 3 squeezes, it means I love you.
I don't know that.
Well, so
I'm your husband.
Me and the kids do that.
Okay.
And so I reached back, and he just started squeezing my hand to say I love you. And I was like, "Oh, I can't be mad at you."
And this is me. While you're doing that, I'm just like... That's what I do if I'm on the phone. And I can't be like, hold on one second, prospective client. Yo, shut up. I'll just be like... So.
Crab hands.
Crab hands.
I hate it. You do this thing.
That's it. That's what you hate. Oh, if it's like you're, hold my mic for me. I'll be like, "Oh, hey, baby. I love that for you. Thank you for holding my mic." You're going to make this awful for me to edit.
Yeah.
So anyways, thanks for watching. This is episode 3 of Genuine Funly Tap. And we've been having a lot of fun doing this.
Yeah. You might
and making
hear
some content.
Background noise from our kids.
Yes, for sure.
This one.
So Kendall has been watching... reels and things all morning that have been making her cry.
Yeah.
Y'all ever do that? I do that sometimes. I'll get on a tangent.
Need a good cry.
Oh yeah, I'll get on a tangent of consuming social media that is tear jerkers. Mm-hmm. For me, it is Memorial Day, military personnel coming home and seeing their loved ones, or their dogs. Oof, their dogs, and or kids asking their step parents to adopt them. That'll get me every single time. Anything to do with dads and kids. Anytime there's like a child that like looks sad and like they're, God, this is so sad. It's like I don't do well with kids feeling lost or abandoned or not knowing what's going on. That gets me real good in my daddy bones. Nope. No. But yeah, that just hits me in the feels. That's what I'm trying to say.
Deep down in your feels.
Yeah. What is yours? What gets you crying? Because sometimes you need to cry. And most of the time for me, I don't know that I'm going that route in the moment until I'm there. And then I'm like, you know what? Give me some more. Give me a little more. There's some more left in there. There's some more left in there that I need to get out. So what is yours? What's your what videos make you cry?
Well, like in general or recently?
In general, if you're gonna have a little sesh, if you're gonna have a little cry sesh.
Yeah, mine's always like just rooting for like underdog videos.
Old people, old couples.
Old couples
that
in
gets
love.
you good.
Old
couples in
disabled
love.
people just having, like, you know, when kids get
Testimonials will get me.
testimonies, but like when kids get like if they ear implants and they hear their parents' voice for the first time.
Seeing like putting glasses on babies for the first time and they see their parent. Oh.
Or like that one I sent you the other night of that kid that has that rare genetic disorder and he got to go to see
the soccer team.
And
he knew everybody.
He just walking around like, what's up, bud?
I love that video because it's like at first there's a soccer player that comes in and like recognizes him, like, I'm looking for, I can't remember his name, and he's just like, it's like realizing that it's him, and then he's just like, it's like he accepts it immediately. It's like, oh, they're here to hang out with me. They're my best friends now. And then they take him to the club and
the soccer club,
and he's like, what's up, Ollie? Like, just like immediately, like, y'all are my best friends now. I belong here 100%. And then he's like shouting out all the chants that they do. I'm not a big soccer player. Nope. I am a big player in whatever thing that I do. I'm not a big soccer fan.
Yeah.
I'm just not a big sports fan in general. I like playing sports. I don't like watching them. But I was watching Welcome to Wrexham, which is like Mac from Always Sunny.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I forgot his name. Rob McElhaney. That's my IMDb autism coming out. And Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds, their show where they bought a team. But one of the things I loved about it is, just segueing right into soccer, is they have all these chants that everyone in the stadium knows. Yeah. And so it'll just be like, it's like the cheer section of your high school football team, you know? But it's like just the cheerleaders know what they're saying. Sometimes it'll be like something that all the student section joins in. Yeah. This is the whole entire stadium. One person starts this chant and everybody starts chanting it. And it's really cool. And they have songs that they make up.
Unity.
Like Sweet Caroline, but they change it to Go Bobby Blue, whatever his name is.
Bobby Boucher again. We bring up Bobby Boucher. Okay, so but lately what's gotten me crying this day is... On this day. Well, yesterday was Memorial Day. So there's always videos, you know, of like soldiers' bodies coming home or families, you know, just to show like the sacrifice.
Remembering the sacrifice,
and then just veteran stories, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It always gets me. And then also Uncle Phil died.
Yeah.
Papaw Phil Robertson died.
We were watching Duck Dynasty last night.
Yeah.
That's
a comfort show.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. It's up there with like The Office and Golden Girls for me of a comfort show.
It's like turn it on, turn off your brain, and just open your heart.
Yeah.
That's
true. It's true.
And then they just pour good Southern butter covered goodness all into your heart.
Well, I was thinking, I was like, he's like for all of us that we had grandpas that died young, when we were young, he was kind of like the grandpa we never had. Yeah. With his wisdom and his countenance and his like love for Jesus, and
it's a real thing.
I've read all his books. I've had several of his books. Obviously with the show, their podcast and stuff.
Yeah.
Never met him. We'll meet him in heaven, I guess. But
yeah. Well, I love what he said.
It's emotional.
What was he said to Sadie? There's like his last words that he said to her was like, "Full strength ahead." Full strength ahead, I think is what, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So, it's like, I think about it. I posted about it on I think I just posted one of the clips that everybody's sharing, but it's like, that is a race well run right there.
Yeah.
Because he had a hard past, came to know Jesus, and it changed his life and changed a lot of people's lives, which is amazing.
And it wasn't like a slow turnaround. It was like a Paul testimony of immediate life change.
Yeah.
They moved out of the city, bought their land, and he said that. He's like, we're going to move out of here. I'm getting away from all these people.
Which is like the city of, what I love is it's the city of like in Louisiana.
Yeah.
It's not like they're in New York. He's just like this city folk. And I get that.
his saying was
like our city is Greenville, South Carolina, which is in comparison to most cities not a big city, but you don't hate Greenville, but you hate the city aspect of it, of like the traffic and all these people. Yeah,
it's just busy, and it's just like
Greenville folks is just too busy.
Well, they're getting there. So many people moving.
There's a lot of people that have moved to our area. But if you're moving, call me, Ben Patat, Legacy Homes, 86. I'm not going to give you my number. No, I should. 864-616-1542. Yeah, it's everywhere.
But the point being, he met Jesus and said, I'm completely changing everything in my life.
Yeah.
And so they moved out to their homestead that they got, and he said, I'm going to fish. He's like, I'm going to live off the land and share the gospel.
Yeah.
And he told his wife, he's like, and we're going to be okay. And that's what they did.
All right. I'm going to
make duck calls.
I'm going to segue us into what we wanted to talk about today perfectly.
That's good, because community.
Yeah. Expound upon that.
Keep going.
Okay. So like the living off the land part, there is some, I don't know if this is other people, or other men maybe, like what am I trying to say? That they feel the same way as I do, but there's something in me that whenever I see someone that is living off the land, or something I'll watch on YouTube is like people who are building cabins in the woods with hand tools. Mm-hmm. And it's like, there's something deep in me that's like, I wish that's what life was.
Well, it could be, I guess.
It could be, yeah.
They did it.
But I'm saying like off the grid.
Yeah.
Like 1600s off the grid.
Do you follow Off Grid Greenville?
I don't, but I should.
It's a community.
Follow Off Grid Greenville. So like you wanted to talk today. Your idea of topic was, what's the hardest thing about being an adult? Mm-hmm. Which is going to get heavy, but good. So that's my segue, is like, as an adult, as I get older, as life goes on, there's more of me comes out that's like, I just want to live in the woods and hunt.
It's a simple life.
A simple life where instead of waking up and being like, how do I create business and hustle and grind and sell houses, I'm like, how do I catch a squirrel for our family to eat? And make sure we got firewood, and make sure that everyone's not dying of dysentery like on the Oregon Trail. That was a crazy game.
That was.
And there's so many elementary school kids that grew up.
We played like a version with Bear.
Yeah, Bear had it for a second. Yeah.
When
you have died of dysentery.
No, me and Bear made it.
You got no way.
Bear and I made it. We did.
No one's ever beaten that game.
Not the
I'm just kidding.
Game.
It has. Did it still have, towards the end of the game, you have to cross the river?
Yeah.
And it's like super perilous.
This one was different because it wasn't the digital game. It wasn't like the computer game. It was like a PowerPoint version where they took like the questions, they gave you the options.
Yeah. Which is how the game was.
Right. But I'm just saying, like,
probably a much more powerful game just as a PowerPoint than it was on the computers that we played.
Bear and I lived, though. We made it.
That's crazy.
Made it to Oregon.
I never made it to Oregon. I always got bit by a rattlesnake.
A rattlesnake.
I got bit by a rattlesnake.
Oh, no. Out here in the West, it bit me.
I always got bit by a rattlesnake, got dysentery, and then exploded from my butt and died.
You did.
And that's what it said. And I was like, that's inappropriate. I'm a first grader.
You can't explode from the butt. You explode from your butt every morning.
Okay. So, the topic for today. How did you phrase it last night?
I was going to,
your suggestion this week, so.
Yeah. Well, mine was, okay, we were talking about with the Robertsons and stuff and what they did.
We're up from that.
I know, but I'm saying that simple life.
Uh-huh.
But the beauty of what they did with that.
The beauty of grace is that it makes
life and community and opening their home. I was like, I always want to be that family that there's always a seat at our table.
Yeah.
And if we don't have food, I'll go without to make sure that you do. You know, just that kind of like open hospitality.
Yeah.
They had a river out back. They just go baptize people after dinner, and I just love that so much.
Was it a river or was it a swamp?
They had a swamp river.
Oh yeah.
Still, it was a river.
Hey, yeah.
It technically is a river.
Yep.
But anyways, so I was just thinking about that, and then I was thinking about what's like the hardest part of adulthood. Mm-hmm. What's been the hardest part of like the brutal reality of what adulthood is sometimes.
Yeah.
So what is that for you?
Well, so disclaimer, we are Americans living in America, and so it's like, oh, why are you guys complaining? You have like, we are so blessed. Let's start there.
Yeah.
So thankful for that. Thank you, Lord, and provide for everybody. So you want me to start? I think you should start.
Okay.
I feel like mine's crazy heavy.
Okay.
I can go if you want me to start.
No, I can go. It's fine. So I was.
So it's your question. You propose it. You give me an example.
I have proposed it. So for me.
You have proposed to me this time.
Oh. I don't have a song for you. I can't. I always have songs.
That's a story for another time.
That's cute.
That's cute. I love that for you.
I love our proposal. Okay.
This is me acting like I was strong. I love that for you.
Publicity.
Go ahead.
So for me, we got married young, which I love.
We got married in a fever.
Okay. But we did. We got married young, 22 and 23. Mm-hmm. Fresh out of
shotgun wedding.
College.
Not really.
No.
Ring by spring, North Greenville University.
No, you already graduated. I didn't get it. So.
You got it by spring.
No, it wasn't. I graduated. Summer. It was summer.
Okay, go ahead.
Ruined it. So we got married young. We grew up together. I feel like, like that was a big thing.
In the sense of like maturing together.
Yes, maturing.
We didn't meet until we were in college, but yeah.
But I'm saying like we've made that transition from like kind of somewhat adulthood. You're like an older youth / young adult until like we're married. We're the first of our friends to get married.
Yeah.
We were the first ones to have kids, like or have a kid. Kind of going into all that, it's like we kind of did all that first before a lot of our community did. So I think for me, one thing I found like the hardest part of adulthood, how did I explain it to you last night? For me, it was like the challenge of the constant change of relationships.
Because you are, we're married now, so we spend all of our time together. Mm-hmm. Whereas before it was like so much of that was not based around, but like included friends.
Yeah, and like
for the first, when you're first married, we had our gang of friends that every Friday night would come hang out at our house and we'd eat pizza and watch scary movies and just laugh. I just whistled.
Scary movies.
Scary movies.
Oh, scary. Oh, it's a ghost. Oh.
I'm sure that it loved that on my microphone. And then let's be honest, is when you have kids, this is when that becomes even harder. It becomes harder as a married, but
because then your focus is different.
Yeah,
obviously, like your priorities are shifting and changing, and it's like you want to maintain these friendships, but also people move. Like so many of my people that I rely on don't live in our state anymore.
Yeah.
And that's hard. Like that you're like soul deep friends that just are like, we're 9 hours from you now.
Yeah.
And then when we got married, after we got married,
You're just thinking of Megan.
Well, Megan, but the KDs, like all those.
Yes. Well, I'm just saying you said 9 hours and I was like,
I always think of her.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I love you, Megan. But what's funny is like we didn't get close till after college and they'd already moved back.
Hey.
So
yeah, sometimes you go. Well, okay, yeah.
But anyways,
you finish your thought and remind me of that because that's
like after we got. I just glitched.
I thought you were gagging.
After we got married,
you just couldn't.
My whole family moved. My family moved to North Carolina. My brother moved.
Nashville to San Jose to California, San Francisco to Canada to Houston to Canada.
And one of my best friends at the time like moved to Mississippi, like so everyone just kind of scattered. And that was hard.
Yeah.
Because then we're also like Bear's really little. I don't have a lot of mom friends, so we're trying to figure this out on our own. Like, and then I still have like core groups of friends, but just the dynamics change. So, people move, they start their own families. Maybe they have another core group that they kind of get in, but then you're not a part of that group anymore. And it's just hard. And it's just like, I'm a deeply relational person. quality time and just relation is so big to me.
Big quality time person.
Yeah.
And so much so that it's like if we will spend all day together. And then if I have to go do something, I
don't like it.
I'll come back and you'll be like, I haven't seen you all day. And I was like, we spent the whole morning together. We had breakfast together. And you're like, yeah, but that didn't count.
No, it's not enough. It's never
I took
enough.
You to the movie. We went on an actual date. Yeah, but that wasn't enough.
We didn't talk. We just watched a movie.
I have something to throw your way. Because it's like that whole seasons of life change.
Sure, but I'm just saying but when my wrestling,
a bug almost flew in your mouth.
No way. These freaking flies, man, they're so bad. The grief of the constant change of relationship for me is hard. And so I like going in and out of different communities, like and you get to know people and then it's like, no, you're still on the outside, or you're in but then they move, or whatever, it's hard. And even in our relationship and in our relationship with our kids, there's always change.
Yeah.
Like one thing guaranteed in life is change, right? But so that for me, I think has been the hardest. That's the thing for me that like
It's okay.
I'm so emotional today.
It's okay. I'm going to get emotional later.
So that gets triggered really easy. And for that's the hardest thing. Is just the grief of the change of like constant changing of relationship and dynamics in that way. And it's not all bad.
No.
Some of it's really great and beautiful, and you get to be a part of people's stories
and you get to see
in and out, and you get to see so many.
You get to see what's happening in their life.
Yeah.
Away, and that's even heartbreaking some.
Yeah.
Because you're like, but you're doing it without me.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you, and you're crushing it, and you get to do it without. But I'm not part of it, and I would love to be a part of that. It's like seasons of life change, It's for us and for everybody.
When even like my close group of friends that I've had since like childhood, I have one of my best friends. I still consider my best friend, but we don't talk very often, and we're not in each other's day to day. But I know if like I needed to call her tomorrow and say I need you, she'd be the first one on my doorstep. Yeah. Which is such a beautiful thing. But still there's that grief of like, oh, I'm not invited to the birthday party and I want to be.
Oh yeah. Well, that's another thing too. That's like you make new friends. Yeah. That's a weird thing as an adult is you make new friends and now you're entering into their life and they're entering into your life at this later stage of they have their best friends, you have your best friends, and but maybe you're now best friends in a different way. And then it's like, oh, they have birthday parties with their kids and all their friends, and we didn't get the invite.
It hurts.
Yeah.
But I get it.
It's complicated.
It is complicated.
Everything in adult life is complicated. Yeah. But that's a real thing.
There's just that season for everything kind of mentality of like understanding that there's a season for everything. Yeah. Things come and go. But for me as an adult, that's the thing I ponder and grieve about the most, more than like monetary stuff, more than like really anything. That's been
how nice for you.
Well, you're a man. It's different for you.
It's true.
I mean, really, I don't work anymore. My focus is very different.
You do nothing. No, yeah. Well, so this is my thought was like, as like young in like when we're younger. This is the other thing is we started adulting, like as social media was like ramping up. Yeah. I don't know exactly the correlation there, but it's like there's so much that we have navigated. Millennial shout out, trauma gang,
trauma bond, baby.
Trauma bond. I mean. Since we graduated college, we graduated in the recession of after the housing market crash.
Time we had like 6 jobs between the two of us.
When we first got married, we had 5 jobs between the two of us. Yeah. Legitimately, that's not a exaggeration. Yeah, don't scrape it. You're killing me.
I'm gonna gulp it.
You're killing me. No, don't. Yes, you should at the end. One big gulp with the microphone right there. But we've been through recessions, wars. All this stuff, like, and we've figured it out during that. But like, at first, but especially before kids and before marriage, it's like, what are you going to do? Like, I say that to say this is before Instagram was everything and all that stuff. So when we had downtime, it was like, oh, let's go hang out. Let's go hike. Let's go outside. Let's go get food or whatever. And it's like, now we're just like, I just want to chill. Like, I'm so overwhelmed by everything. I just want to sit on my couch. So it's become like maintaining and being intentional with relationships has become much more of a sacrifice at this stage in life. I'm not even saying like chronologically this day and age, but at this stage in our life, and for us and for all of our friends, it's just more of a sacrifice. Yeah. And it makes the relationships that we do have and that do continue to grow that much more special, you know? I'm a people pleaser, so it's like I could easily be like, I want to maintain all these relationships. I'll be gone all day, every day, and a complete shell of a person because by the end, I've been like extroverting all day, which I am. I'm a mix. I'm extrovert, introvert. I'm extroverted until I'm not, and then I'm like,
we turn into a gremlin.
I don't turn into a gremlin. I just turn into a golem.
Yeah.
My precious.
Okay, so that was mine. What's yours?
Mine is kind of in that same vein of like becoming an adult. Not the relationship is a thing for sure. I'll randomly be like, oh man, I haven't talked to so and so in a long time, and that just makes me sad. And we used to talk all the time, and now we don't. And I'll just feel bad as a friend. This is a me thing for sure, maybe. But it's like, I don't go, God, they're a terrible friend. They haven't talked to me in so long. I'm like, I am the worst friend in the world because I have not checked in on them. We haven't hung out. They might be going through hard stuff and I haven't helped in any way. I'm bad. For me, you ask this question and you're like, mine's a relationship. Not that that's not a hard thing. It's a hard thing for you.
It's just different.
Yeah. But I was like, you were like, what's the hardest thing about being an adult? And it was just like the ongoing existential crisis that lives in my mind of wanting to be here and also not.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, that sounds really bad. What it is it's like
that longing for home.
That is a very real thing. For me, the hardest thing about being an adult is I wasn't a kid that was like, oh, when I'm an adult, this is what it's going to be like. And always looking forward and be like, I'm going to have this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. That wasn't me as a kid. But, you know, you think about, oh, I'm going to have freedom and all this stuff like that. Like becoming an adult, I have struggled with the reality that, man, this is incredibly hard. And if my perspective is off, which often it is, being honest, it's like, it kind of sucks. Adulting sucks. I think we can agree on that. Adulting sucks. And I'm 37, about to turn 38.
I don't think it sucks all the time.
No, it doesn't. I'm just saying.
It's just hard.
It's really hard.
Hard's not bad. Hard's
I don't know if it's maybe like I had undiagnosed main character energy, you know, which is like maybe everybody struggles with, or I don't know. But like, I'm so unimpressed. This sounds so bad. This is a very genuine, authentic look into the way my brain works. I'm so unimpressed with the world. I'm so unimpressed by what it means to be an adult. I'm so unimpressed by, oh, you've got a house and this, okay. I was going to say, you have a house and kids and a wife and a family. I like, it's like, so this is just the unhealthy way that my brain looks at it. And it's like, I am exhausted. I feel lost. I feel like I'm not doing anything, even though I'm constantly doing things. And I'm just like, also there is the very real aspect of getting these glimpses of what's next. Not like I've had near-death experience, but it's just like you get little tastes of heaven.
You talking about like last week?
Yeah, like last Sunday,
and then having a crash on Monday.
Yeah, like last Sunday I led worship. It was like one of the most powerful, just beautiful times of worship. It was amazing. I was just so filled, and just like you get this little glimpse of heaven, and you're like, this is amazing. It's the tiniest, not even a 0.01% of what heaven's going to be like. And Monday I got really low and sad and just like, this sucks.
Well, to be fair, Monday, it's like you had some work stuff that didn't go great. We got some hard news from some friends. Yeah. And it was just like, it was kind of a heavy day. Yeah. And so it's okay that like it was a heavy day.
Yeah. So to answer your question, what's the hardest part of being an adult? Oh God. I think I would say, for me, maintaining hope. Like, it gets dark. Yeah. Because it's like, you want to chase after these things, and you want to accomplish these things, and you want to make these memories with your family and with your kids, and you want to provide for them and protect them and give them a life that they deserve, give them everything that they want. And it just feels like life just puts its boot on your neck and presses hard. So much so that like the blessings that we do have, like you're not thinking about those things. Like it's a discontentment is what it is. Yeah. It's just like, I want to be doing so much more. I want to be accomplishing more. I want to help more people. I want to, honestly, I want to spend my time doing something more ministry related than real estate related. But here's where we are. We're just in this season. I'm tired of hearing about this season, or we're in a healing season, which we're still in. It's just like, so many of my prayers are like,
my thought on that healing season is that we're just in that until
always.
We're home.
But we've been through a more intense season of healing, that is for sure. But it's like, I was talking with a buddy. We were going on our disc golf trip, and we were just talking about life. And it's like, I can't help. This is a very heavy thing. It's like, there's times where my brain just goes, like, I didn't volunteer for this.
Who does?
Exactly. Well, but that's like, that's not helpful in the conversation of like, I'm dealing with this question of, or this thought of, I didn't sign up for this. Yeah. It's so hard. I feel completely broken and just drained and overwhelmed, and I didn't sign up for this, but here I am. But like, yes, you can always go, oh, there's someone worse. Someone's got it worse than you. I know that you're not. I'm just saying, in any conversation, anybody can say, oh, well, at least your head's not falling off, you know? So it's a very real thing. And I also, having said all of that, 100% understand, and I'm really working hard at knowing that those are real feelings that I feel. Mm-hmm. Those are real thoughts that are in my head or trying to get into my head. And so many of them are lies from the enemy. And so many of them are my thought patterns and the way that I think, and being discontent. It's not like I'm not saying this as a woe is me. It's like I really struggle with locking, like with affirmation, having self-worth and self-esteem, and not being hypercritical of myself, and not constantly thinking, oh yeah, you just accomplished this, or y'all were just able to do this, and not going, yeah, but you're nowhere close to that thing. Yeah. To what your goals are that are so high and whatever. It's like, that are not. A big thing for me is like, where's that in the Bible? Like, we live in a culture where it's like, if you're not a millionaire and your money's not making money and you aren't saving, I want to be rich and pass down generational wealth, but it's like, and I can focus on that. And then guess what? I'm never at that point. Right. I've never accomplished that goal. I'm never done at that point. That's just going to
run you to burnout.
And it does, and it has, and I can easily get to burnout because I live on this I feel like I live in this valley of contentment, momentary contentment and hope, but majority grind, hustle, and you're not there yet.
Well, there's that. So I was looking up that C.S. Lewis quote that says the fact that our heart yearns for something earth can't supply is proof that heaven must be our home.
Absolutely. And that I struggle. Like, I'm just like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm going to just say this too. Like, it's helpful to me to talk like this because it's accurate to how I feel. Yeah. I don't want to hurt myself. I'm not going to do that. But there is a very deep longing in my heart for the kingdom and for heaven. Like that is I have on my wrist tattooed, to live as Christ and die as gain. And I feel like every day I understand that more. Mm-hmm. I'm here. I have breath in my lungs. And I have a beautiful wife and beautiful kids and a blessed life. I want to appreciate that. Yeah. And deep within me, my soul longs to be with the Lord.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
That's very real.
So I know that you're like, stop saying that, and I'm just like,
I don't tell you stop saying that. I say stop with your critical thoughts.
Yeah.
When you're spiraling, sometimes.
Yeah. I spiral.
That's why I'm like, you got. But words matter. It's like we tell our kids, right? Words matter. The things that we say, even in our thoughts, matter. They shape our brain pattern and our brain waves and the things we think. And I think that's why, we always hear, like the Bible says, like, take every thought captive, like submit it to truth.
Yeah.
Even if you don't believe it in the moment or you don't feel it in the moment, there's power in submitting it to truth.
Which is like what we talked about last week of like, sorry, Taylor, that like, last week we talked about that if we don't have a foundation, sure, if there's cracks in your foundation, you're like everything, it's like that's the way that you do things, view things, receive things, think about things. Mm-hmm.
I think there's gonna be.
So if you feel that way, you're not alone.
But there's also you're not alone.
Oh, they said leave me alone.
If you feel that way, leave me alone. She got dead by some bumblebees.
She doesn't want to talk to you. Scram.
But I was saying, when you said I didn't sign up for this, I
don't like that thought.
Was like,
that
well,
feels,
you did.
I feel it. I'm not saying I don't feel it.
No, I'm saying when you said, like, when we submit our life to Christ, we sign up.
Yeah.
For suffering. Yeah.
Not pie in the sky by and by when we die. It's in this world you will have troubles, but take heart. I have overcome the world.
Yeah.
That is a very real thing.
So it's that perspective, right?
100%.
Of gratitude and
thankfulness.
That's
been something. So
that's something but it's something it doesn't come naturally.
No.
Often, more often than not, I have to pause in my train of thought or whatever.
Change the way that I think.
But in the moment, just again, it's that even if I don't feel it right now, I'm grateful. Yeah. And let me just list the things that I'm grateful for. And it's like
here's a real thing that the Lord's been showing me this year. So I did the white Christian woman thing of like last year of like, Lord, what's the word for my year?
That's not a white Christian.
And I put it on a key.
I didn't do it.
No, I'm just kidding. I didn't do that. But I did last year, and last year was when Kendall came home from work, and that was a big step, but we felt the Lord was saying, Kendall, quit her job. Simplify our life. Yes, in every way, but financially. And I was just like, Lord, I can't do this. Because it's one of those things that's like, I have a successful real estate business on all fronts. Yeah. It's like I've been selling around 20 homes a year. Average realtor sells 7 to 12. Mm-hmm. So it's been great. It's beautiful. Thank you, Lord. Continue to supply. But like his business model for me when I started the team, it's just me, but it's like the branding of the team, Legacy Homes of Brand Name Real Estate, was don't market. Mm-hmm. I will bring the business. Yeah. And I'm like, that's beautiful. I love that. I don't have to make cold calls all day. And it's just like, he has done that consistently year after year and grown it. But when we went into that, I was like, you got to do this. Yeah. I can't make sense of this for us financially, but you're telling us to do it. You've got to do it. And so the word that he gave me for last year was trust. And so like all year, my mantra, like my meditation was, Lord, I trust you. I trust you. And then this year I did the same thing. And he said, thanksgiving. Well, he said optimism. Optimism was my word for the year. And so I shifted at some point from I trust you, I trust you, I trust you to Lord, thank you. And what he showed me was trust is great and necessary, and that's part of faith, but I can trust him without being thankful. But I can't truly be thankful to him without trusting. And I was like, but like that gratitude piece is what you were saying, has transformed my perspective faster than anything else. Yeah. I start thinking, like Psalm says, we enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. And I've always seen that as a entering the gates of Jerusalem and entering the courts of the temple with praise, drawing near to his presence. Like literally, as we start with thanksgiving and it turns into praise as we draw closer and draw nearer to him. And that will change my perspective, and gratitude will spark in me faster than anything.
Yeah. You know what's cool about that? Because you were talking about the verse of like, it's the entering into the setup of the temple. And it's just cool to think about when Jesus tore the veil.
Well, that's what I think about.
And you just like that's there, when like we talk you just about, like picture. Oh yeah. And you're just like in front of that split veil.
This is the worship conversation I want to have at some point, because I'm all about it. But like, yeah. I say it all the time, like if I'm leading, helping to paint a picture for people is like, if you don't know how, a little snippet, if you're struggling to really engage in worship, like you're like, I just don't get it. I'm not a musical worshiper. It's like, that's fine. Like there's so many ways to worship, but musically worshiping, but anything. From a mindset perspective, entering into a posture of worship, I think about that. We enter his gates with thanksgiving. If you're thinking about it like, here's Jerusalem,
picturing
and
then
in Jerusalem you have the temple. It's like you enter the gates with thanksgiving, and as you just pour out thankfulness to the Lord, put it on your lips. Thank you for this. Thank you for my family. Thank you for my house. You draw near. Gratitude rises in your spirit, and then you release that. Lord, I praise you. Entering into the courts of the temple, and in the Old Testament, you had the Holy of Holies, the most sacred place in the temple, and that's where the presence of God in the Ark of the Covenant was. And I can talk about that. But when Jesus died on the cross, there was a big curtain that separated the presence of God from the people. And the priest would enter in once a year. With a rope tied to him just in case they dropped dead, but to atone for the sins of Israel. But when Jesus died on the cross, that veil tore. And the presence of God was made manifest and known to all people because of the cross, which is so beautiful.
Yeah.
So but I wanted to tell, like, what my answer to that question, I was wanting to bring up It's a Wonderful Life. That movie. It's my favorite movie of all time.
Ties into both of our things, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. If you haven't watched It's a Wonderful Life, homework number 1, practice Thanksgiving. Take 5 minutes and just, even if you're not like a follower of Jesus, try it out. Just start saying what you're thankful for. What are the things that you have that is a blessing in your life? And you shift your mind off what you don't have, or what's not yet, or what's in process, or what's messy, to what is.
Yeah, that's something we actively do with each other and our kids. If they're spiraling or we're spiraling, it's like, give me 5 things you're thankful for.
Yeah. What are 5 things you're thankful
5
for?
Things.
And it's a humbling thing and a challenging thing, but it will change.
Because your spirit's at war with it. Because you want to, for a minute, you know, because there's this temptation to keep leaning into the spiral, the woe is me.
Everything's going to be wrong.
Everything sucks, da-da-da.
This sucks.
And it's like, those can be true. Your circumstances can be really tough and hard.
And you can still be incredibly blessed.
Correct. So,
but that's a whole nother conversation of like, if you have breath in your lungs, how blessed are you?
Breath in your lungs.
It's your breath in my lungs. So It's a Wonderful Life.
Wonderful Life.
I didn't.
Every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings.
Oh, so good. Going in. Okay, yeah. So
where's Zuzu's pedals? Sorry.
So yes, It's a Wonderful Life. Sorry. It's just, I love this movie so much. I mean, it was made a long time ago, and I didn't watch it until about 6-7 years ago. Never seen it in my life. Didn't grow up watching it at Christmas. However, having seen it now, it is a Christmas movie. It ends at Christmas, but it's not really Christmas.
It's for all the time.
It's for all the time, whenever I want to cry. Talking about like what makes you cry, that movie makes me ugly cry. The first time I watched it, it was a Sunday afternoon. I remember because we were at Buffalo Girls. My buddy had mentioned it to me that Sunday morning.
I disagree with this.
Okay, but he's like, or like we had talked about it before. He gave me the DVD. He's like, watch this movie, and I watched it that day, and I was like, it's an old movie, and like I want to watch Inception or something like that. I want to watch a Christopher Nolan movie. And I was like, I'm gonna watch it. You know, I feel like it's Holy Spirit now, but, and the movie ends, and I am sobbing. Yeah. I am fully, uncontrollably ugly crying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's happening? Kendall comes around the corner. She was doing something in the kitchen. She comes around the corner. She's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm not okay.
And then I was like, I get it though.
Yeah. That movie, and then you said, it's just always touched me. It's a beautiful movie. Mm-hmm. I think that the conversation, like the romantic exchange between George and Mary after the school dance, it's early in the movie. It's like when they first are like seeing each other, is the best kind of meet cute romantic spark scene I have ever seen in any movie. It should be studied. The exchange, like that the scene. Humor, the beats between them. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Yeah. So good. If you've never watched It's a Wonderful Life, watch It's a Wonderful Life. Well, the whole story is about George Bailey, who has these dreams and aspirations of what his life is going to be. And then life hits him, and none of it comes to be like he thought.
Right.
And God, like, it gets me. I feel like, and like a year or so ago, we were talking about it randomly, and you were like, it's because you're George Bailey. Yeah. And I started sobbing again. I feel I identify with him. It's like, I wasn't some kid dreamer of like, I'm going to be this, that, and that, but it's like, unknowing to me, I had all these dreams and aspirations. And I think every one of us has all these dreams and aspirations, and then life hits you and you shift and you change. And how well you can shift and change and dance around the boxing ring of life is how, is going to make a big difference mentally for you. And I didn't do that well, I feel like, overall, or I'm just, whatever. But golly, he has this small business. And it's in financial trouble towards the end of the movie. Yeah. Oh yeah.
The Great Depression.
No, that they get through that.
I know.
As we have, but like.
You're talking about at the very end.
It's not the Great Depression. It takes place after World War II. But yeah, at the very end, he's misplaced like $5,000 in those days, which was a lot more. But in him, it's like it is the way his brain spirals. I identify with so much. Here is a problem. And in your brain, you go, this is it. We're done. End of story. We are finished. And to the point that he's like suicidal. I was like, I'm going to jump off this bridge and kill myself. And then his angel shows him what life would be like if he had never been born. I think he even says, I wish I'd never been born.
Yeah.
And so his angel shows him what that would have been like. And he sees the impact. He sees the impact that he's made throughout his life and what it would have been like if he had never been born. And he's like, it culminates with him like, I want to live again. I want to live again. And so the angel brings him back. He doesn't jump off the bridge. Actually, he does jump off the bridge to save the angel, but And he goes to his house and he sees his family, and all of his friends and family have like rallied around him.
His wife got them all together.
And like they resolve the problem easily. And this is going to get me good. And the angel gives them a book that he's reading throughout the book, throughout the movie towards the end. And it's in the book, it says, "No man is a failure who has friends." Mm-hmm. And
he wrote it in there.
Yeah, he wrote it. And that gets me big time. Because in my dumb brain.
Your brain's not dumb.
In my fallen brain, I will write myself off so fast. And it's like, we're done. This is it. We're not coming back from this. And I don't have a proper grasp of how resilient we are, how resilient I am.
Yeah.
And how much we've been through, and how much we've helped, and how much we've meant to people, and how much people have meant to us. We just don't see that. Yeah. And that movie challenges me and convicts me to see that for me and for my life, it's a wonderful life. And the only thing that doesn't make that a reality is my perspective over it.
Yeah. I love when we get little glimpses of it, though. It's like,
even well, since starting this podcast, we've had some people reach out and like, this really meant a lot to me. And it's like, God,
but I think it just shows you the impact that you make on people. It's the simple life of things. It's not,
it's not this big accomplishment of me.
Your first $1,000 impacted me. Maybe it did. Maybe we were able to give more because we had more money, but it's more like when like at our friend's wedding, that was a former student of ours, like when you were a youth pastor, they came up and said, "You guys had the most impact on me in my relationship with Jesus and why I'm in ministry now." Like, it's that stuff. And in the time that we were in her life in that way was hard. I mean, we were new parents with a newborn. We had our doors always open. It was so fun. We had like people just in and out, like youth would just come hang out all the time. But it was like, we were still struggling, but in that you still had an impact on someone who's having an impact on another generation, who's going to have an impact on another generation. So it's just that ripple effect. And when God gives us glimpses of just how we've gotten to partner in people's stories and woven into their story, or their fabric of life, it's just so cool and humbling. And it's just so like, golly, like why, like, but that's that discontentment comes, I think, so much from the war of you push, grind, do better, make more, blah, 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 which is like it's not, those aren't inherently bad things, but when your perspective gets thrown off of, if that is interfering with the things that have eternal weight, right? Mm-hmm. That's when that perspective gets wrong and thrown off. And that's when we spiral into unhealthy things. And it takes our mindset off of the eternal goal and puts on this very short-term goal. And then it takes away the relational aspect of things because you're so inward focused on the monetary stuff or whatever it is, that you're missing the glimpses and the moments of the little things that really, really matter.
And what I've realized too is it's like the eternal goal, like run the race well, like Papaw Phil did. But there is that always. And that's the thing is, like, Jesus says, "My yoke is easy, my burden is light." And like,
they don't feel light.
It doesn't feel light all the time. But one of the things the Lord showed me it told me this was like this little glimpse was anxiety is something we feel when we're carrying something we shouldn't.
Yeah.
We're carrying something He hasn't given us to carry. But also like, and so we do that. We load ourselves down with these goals and expectations that He doesn't have for us. But because we live in this American dream society of like, you're worth what you produce. Like you're worth how much you're worth. And there's a monetary value to put on that. And it's so unhealthy. And it is like, again, it is not the value. It is not the value that the Lord sees in us. It's not the value he created us to have for ourselves and for each other. Something that's I've also realized is like when I'm spiraling, I'm often thinking towards the future. Yeah. I'm worrying about tomorrow. And what it does is it pulls me faster than anything out of the present. And the beauty of staying present minded is that's where Thanksgiving is. That's where thankfulness is. It's not, I would be challenging, maybe impossible to thank the Lord for something in the future. We could do that, but when I ground myself in the here and now, thank you for this table that we get to sit at with our kids and do homeschooling. Thank you for the breath in my lungs is something I say all the time. Thank you for healthy children. It's like that is here and now. Yeah. That is not in the future. That is here and now. Yeah. It's not in the past. It's here and now. Yeah. What is it from Kung Pao? Master Oogway. He says,
swing a bit more, I swing a bit less.
No.
I know, that's different.
Kung Pao, not Kung Pao. Kung Fu Panda is what I'm thinking of. Kung Pao is what I said.
I was Kung Pao.
Yeah.
I was doing that.
You swing a bit more, I swing a bit less. Dude, that movie is
unhinged,
horrible,
so
and
good.
We laughed so much about it. No, Kung Fu Panda.
Okay.
The turtle dude, I think his name's Master Oogway, but he says, I remembered it. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a present. That's why it's called the present. I just butchered that. But like, that's the mentality.
I'm not good with quotes. That's all you.
That's like,
yeah.
We can look back on the past with Thanksgiving, or we can look at with regret.
Well, looking back on the past gives you hope, right? Like that's where a lot of times we draw hope from is things. Like I understand what you're saying, and I agree. Yeah. I think gratitude and thankfulness comes from a lot of times being in the present. But we were talking about your struggle is not always having hope, and that's like the beauty of like the root word of hope in Hebrew is actually like a future, like a future minded thing, or like looking not in a future minded, but like a past. Literally like a recalling of God's faithfulness in your life in the past,
which my testimony
to keep bringing that into the present, to then like launch that into the future.
That's good.
So those aren't bad things to dwell on by any means. Those are good, but it's like a girding. It helps you, like
it helps your perspective. Yeah. Like our testimony is that the Lord has always provided for us in any and every way that we've needed, time and time again. That is the only testimony that we have, is He's taking care of us. And then my brain goes to the future and it's like, but what if this is the time that He doesn't? But the reality is He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. It says in the Word, even when we're faithless, He is faithful. He cannot deny Himself. And so then I beat myself up for even questioning whether or not He'll come through this time. He always does. But staying present-minded and remembering His faithfulness up until this point, like, will snap me out of it very, very quickly. And I lean on you. Goodness gracious, I'm going to get you an award for Trooper of the Millennium of like, Kendall, I need you to come put your hands on my face and tell me it's going to be okay. Just remind me. Put your Jenga piece on my face. Remind me that it's going to be okay.
Yeah. That's what we do.
No one else can do that like you can. Well, because we're one.
Yeah.
So.
Same brain.
Wrapping things up.
Wrap up the present.
Because we can talk about, I'd love to talk about Thanksgiving and gratitude and what all it does. Sure. Even like we could look up like scientifically what it does in our brains. Like longer, but I think that's a good stopping point for today. For relationships and for hope in navigating adult life, being present and grateful in the present will transform the way that your day-to-day life will go.
Sure enough.
Like, I read a book called Ruthless Trust by Brennan Manning, which I highly recommend to everybody. And one of the things he said, that's just, mine's all dog-eared with 1,000 underlines of all the things he said. But when he says, like, one of the greatest indicators of a trusting disciple is gratitude.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. So, like, what is it like if I'm practicing gratitude and practicing thanksgiving? It chemically changes my brain waves and my thought processes to immediately go to hope and remember who I am and whose I am and all that the Lord has done for us and all that he promises to do.
Slows your heart rate down too.
Yeah. We got to wrap up.
We do.
Because I got to go do showings.
What's a good...
I want to do a game.
Okay. You do a game.
This might bomb, but it might be really funny.
Okay.
We're going to play alphabet sounds. So, and the goal is for us, the go, what?
I was doing Spanish.
You made me go. We're going to go back and forth, like A, B, C, D.
Boys, knock it off. Bear, walk away.
This is what it was like at the pool. They're downstairs hanging out.
I'm getting restless.
Like A, B, C, D. And we're just going to make a really goofy sound that we think of on the spot, trying to make the other person laugh. And the goal for each of us...
start with that letter?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we got to try to not laugh.
That's impossible.
I know. So maybe this is a great game that we've just created. Who wants to go first?
A. No, wait. I say... Oh,
who wants to go first? A wants to go first. You going to start?
I say A, and then
so,
you
like,
say...
if you're going to be loud, you can move this around. You should hold this, though. If you keep tapping it on the table, you'll hear it on there. Stop it. Gosh. All right, you go first?
I just say the letter.
No,
we don't
you're
start
making
at A.
a sound. Like, for A, you could be like...
First. You
go
first.
A. You failed immediately.
Oh, I need to
You just said B. You have to make a sound started with a buh, like a buzz sound. But to make it funny.
Why did I fail?
Because you just went B.
Oh, I thought I was going to go B. Blah.
Okay. All right. Let's start over. Because the point of the game is to not laugh. So get your laughs out. I'm so serious. I stubbed my toe.
Ooh.
B. ¿Qué pasa? This is a great game.
Okay. Bark.
E. G.
You gulped.
Oh, yeah, I did.
It's easy.
I got to do the ABCs in my brain. H, I. Joel. I, J, K. Cloud can I?
Nope.
Oh.
You sound like a little Star Wars like puppet. What are you doing?
I got a rap.
Q R
S.
S.
Stop whispering. Q R S T. Valiama Kotoro.
Oh, that sounds like some weird Lord of the Rings.
That sounds like Jabba the Hutt or casting a spell.
Yeah.
Yeah. V Q R S T V W.
What?
That sounds like Wario. W.
Wario.
Q R S T V W.
X.
X.
What is yet? X is not sound like yet.
Jack.
No. X is always.
Gata.
Unless you're a xylophone.
Xylophone. Why? This is Sheffy.
Yeah. You gotta block his face out.
Oh. I would not be good at doing the alphabet backwards if I was doing a field sobriety test.
No.
Even like if whether I've been drinking it. Nope, can't do it. All right, thank you guys for watching. Catch you next time. Shepard definitely heard us doing the alphabet and was like, I know that. That's my game.
Can you sing the ABCs?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, I, E.
Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me?
Yeah!
Bye!
Bye!
Microphone
So,
in the
are you
phone.
you're just going down a rabbit hole?
Of tears. Kring krong. Will you still love me when I am old? And tell you I don't know who stole my can of beans. But maybe it was you, maybe it was me, maybe it was the 3 goblins that live in my cabinet that eat all my snacks all the time. It's my kids. They stole the beans. Beans. Woo. Oh, Homestar. Hello, Marzipan. It's Homestar.